how do you sustain commitment at the point that it flags? Well, again, it's a great question because it always happens. But I find that there's really a rhythm in this kind of work that moves always between inspiration and action. Sometimes people get bogged down because they've been sort of going and going and going, but have lost the plot. They don't exactly remember what motivated them to get engaged to begin with. And when that happens, then you need a moment of really re-engaging with the purpose and the story. So a question as simple as, what was it that we set out to do and why did it matter to us? Or just to say, for instance, a timeline. What have been the milestones of where we've come so far and where we saw ourselves as going? And once you refresh that sense of purpose, then people will recommit themselves. Some people may see it and say, this is no longer what motivates me. But most people, once you refresh that sense of purpose, especially when they've named what it was and why it mattered, will be recommitted to it. By the same token, sometimes people get so caught up in the vision that people who really love to act lose energy because they can't really see that anything is happening. And at that point, the question is a different question, which is, what do we have to do next? And who really has the energy to do it? Because when you can ground that inspiration in some very concrete action in a place, that also is motivating, especially to people who love to act. Sometimes people have said to me, are you a thinker or a doer? And I say, well, at any moment people can be one or both, but it's important that in a process like this that you really have space for both the people who love to think and the people who love to do. And so even just by saying imagine Chicago, you're saying there's a movement of imagination and there's a movement of grounding it in action. And the way, in my experience, to sustain the commitment is to always refresh the inspiration at the point that the action is getting bogged down, and at the point that the action needs some energy just to ask the question of what happens next. I think the other thing is that you can sustain and inspire a process always by bringing in new partners who share a commitment, because they bring new set of eyes and a new set of energies. It's one of the reasons, frankly, that I've been so keen to involve young people, because they have so much energy and because they do see things in a new way, and they often are more willing to say what they see than people who have either grown more cynical or people who have tried things that didn't work out. So I think it's another great way to refresh a process is to look for, especially for young energy to bring into the process, because it gives people a new sense of hope about what you're trying to work for.